I see it in there.
There.
There it is. All right. So we had an awesome week last week for Protect the Path. We still have one city. One city got rained out. Salt Lake City is happening this Friday. They had some really big lightning and we did not want them out there. So Amy Fine and I switched it to this Friday. But we had an amazing week. I have loved getting the text messages and pictures to see what everyone is doing. It's been it was a really diverse week of activities, people all over the country. We had, I think we probably neared, just from hearing some folks that didn't register, and I bet we had close to 300 people out there cleaning up the earth. Probably, 40 to 45 cities across the country. So, beyond these 8 main cities, we had loads of other people getting involved in other cities. So love these statistics. I think we're still working on the amount of trash bags collected, and we're still gathering pictures and video from all of these. We've gotten so much great stuff. AV, you may have seen one little clip from the Asheville area that AV put together, but they're putting together another really awesome video that really shows the impact from across the whole country and all of these cities and where everybody came out. And what I think the thing that just warmed my heart more than anything was the community aspect of it, the connection piece of it. I was hearing from the Gainies how there were people, people came from all over to come to, the Gainies cleanup there in Baltimore, and just the connection piece of getting everyone together around this cause. This will be a yearly event, and we love these kinds of events because they're essentially they're like an easy lift, right? It's not like a big conference that we're putting on or a boot camp, right? This is just us getting together and doing good in the world. And it's an easy thing we can do, and so cool that we can all come together and do it, across the whole country around the same time. So thank you to everybody who came out and to everyone who's going to be in Salt Lake this Friday. The other thing I wanted to touch base on, and we'll talk more about this coming up, but y'all know I have reached out to a handful of you about Life Happens and doing that sponsorship with us, doing your own sponsorships on your teams. We have 18 directs right now that are in conversation with Life Happens. So with corporates, right. Yeah, Casey, I want you to say a little something on this. But with, corporate, we'll be sponsoring our student. But that's really close to the number 20, which was my original number that I had in mind of having 20 people stand on stage with me in August, sponsoring their students. But I think we could do more than that, Casey.
Yes.
What do you think?
I think we should. And it's such an awesome cause. And it's so in line with what we do.
Yeah.
For anyone new on, just like, what's the quick blurb on Life Happens? What's their cause? What's their
right. Project? So that quick little blurb is, so Life Happens helps students. They have a scholarship fund that helps students who have lost a parent or guardian, who didn't have life insurance, and now that student is in financial hardship for education, for college education in particular. So again, just aligns with everything that we're doing. We've had an amazing relationship with Michaela. She'll be on IG Live with me in May to talk a little bit about her experience and our partnership. And it's just been really beautiful talking with these 18 directs and how excited they are to start to partner with Life Happens as well. So if you are interested, if you're out there and you're interested and you have not been in touch with me, or I haven't been in touch with you, email me and we'll get you lined up so we could, we want to have you on stage with us at conference and see how many folks we can get up there and how many students we can help this year.
Thank you, Whit. Protect the Path was an awesome event. Got to show up for the Warren Wilson College, which is our backyard, my local trails that I've grown up hiking and playing around on my entire life. I can remember being on those trails when I was, 7, 8 years old and playing in the river there and everything. So to actually carve out time and go, you know, pick up some of the trash and some of the garbage that has either been swept down because of flooding in the river or just people trashing the place, and how much we carried out of there. And I also thought it was really cool, just the community response. You know, everyone, for the most part, except for that runner we ran into that came up behind us, that probably wasn't quite sure what we were doing. Everyone that we encountered on the trail, you know, was, you know, thanking us and saying, well, thank you for doing this, that kind of thing. So it was a really, really cool.
I'm so glad you brought that up, Casey, because when we came back, we had 2 trails here in Asheville that we cleaned up. And so our staff came back to where our old restaurant was, and we had some food and some drinks together. And that is what they all said from their trail. And we had this just awesome collective moment of how just all these people came around us just to say thank you. And it was a really, really beautiful moment. And I bet
it reminds me of what Ripple stands for, you know, like when you go out and you do something like that in the community, and it's like how Make-A-Wish came along, you know, for us as a company. It was one person on the outside of our company, had nothing to do with us, ask us to go do the Make-A-Wish Trailblaze Challenge. And then it created this ripple effect where now how much is the company, all of us collectively raised to fund wishes over the course of, you know,
over $1 million.
That was one person that tipped that little domino.
Right.
You know, and what we did on this Protect the Path on the trail, like that could spark something just like that for the community, or, you know, just people in the community, citizens saying, hey, we should get out and do something. That's what it's all about. It's pretty cool.
Yep. Woohoo.
Thank you, Whit.
Yeah. Thank you to everyone.
Done.
Thank you for organizing. That's the tricky part with all this, with stuff like this from an impact standpoint, is you got to organize it. Right? It doesn't just happen. And otherwise it's just onesie twosies out there. But when you can collectively,
oh my goodness,
group of people, we can do some damage in a very good way.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, and now moving on to this next ripply fun activity we have is Mind. And this is our last money section of Money Muscle Mind. And we're really excited to have Mike Resma on with us. We're going to be moving into muscle for the month of May, and I'll be kicking it off next week with you all. Super excited to be sharing what I have on my heart around muscle and in the month of May. But Resma, are you out there, buddy?
I sure am. I like the Ripley comment. I'm going to start using that word, Ripley.
Like Ripley,
Very
right? So you just ripple, make the ripples keep happening, Resma. You're going to do it right here, right now.
That's right. We're about to make it happen. So thanks, Whit, for having me on, and everybody else. Hello, Symmetry Nation. What is going on? Really excited to talk to you guys today, just kind of around the history of money and really the value. And we talked about a little bit on the builders call with resets and advanced markets, but really how powerful and what we can provide to our clients. So if you go to the next slide, Spivey, just kind of understanding the history of money. For me, I wasn't so enthralled in the US economy and global economics and the monetary system really until 2019, when I learned about DFL and the debt clock. And I know a lot of you guys have heard me talk about the debt clock and the problem that we have, a debt to GDP 130%. But really today, I didn't want to take that angle, since you guys have heard me saying that, just kind of understanding what's going on right now. And over the centuries, we've seen a change of how money and services are transacted, both locally and globally, right? So in the beginning, centuries ago, it was bartering, trading goods and services. Then it was trading commodities like tea, tobacco, salt, cocoa beans. Then it went into coins with gold, silver, and copper. And really what's really interesting to dig into is once we went into paper money and had the Federal Reserve in the early 1900s, the dollar being backed by gold, we had something to maintain its value. Well, in the early 70s, once the gold standard was removed, you know, as we continue to print more and more money without it being backed by gold, well, that can create inflation. It can create the value of the dollar going down if the dollar isn't being used in global trade. So there's been a lot of uncertainty that's been happening since that's happened of removing the gold standard. And I think everybody knows, over the last couple months, we've seen a couple banks fail, like SVP, First Republic is going down. And that's because of the fractional reserve system in the bank. So if you guys aren't familiar with fractional reserves, what that means is that the banks are required to only hold 10% of the deposits that come in. So they get $1 million of deposits in a month. They only have to keep 100,000, then they can lend out that 900,000 many, many more times to be able to provide loans, gain interest, and receive fees from that money. Well, what we've seen through that process is that there's been a liquidity crisis with those banks. That's why SVP went down, First Republic, other banks are having issues right now. So what we've actually seen in the beginning of this year is that $108 billion has left banking deposits this year. $108 billion has not been deposited in, or lost deposits in the banking system. And what's interesting is that actually $208 billion in the same time frame has gone into the crypto market. Now, there's a lot of speculation there. The crypto market's been around for 10 years. There's no regulation. It's not widely adopted, but the SEC right now is under fire for making that happen. So with all of this uncertainty, money is leaving the bank, inflation is high, the stock market is volatile. What we do is provide tremendous value, because if the stock market does continue to go down, we have products to help them out. As agents or clients are getting into more debt, we have products that can help serve those clients as well. So all of the uncertainty that's happening right now in the economy, we absolutely can hedge that and provide value through our advanced market solutions. So Spivey, if you don't mind going on, Jeff created this and how we help people in 5 key categories through Symmetry's advanced markets. Number 1 is we protect the family and the income in the form of death benefit, right? Somebody passes away, they get the death benefit tax-free. We protect them from market risk, and that's done through the annual reset provision inside of these policies. So whatever interest I gain in that policy year, at policy anniversary, those gains are locked in and you're not going to lose any money. That annual reset is a very powerful mechanism inside of these products so that you're not losing your gain at the end of that policy year. Then we would protect people through unnecessary taxes through the 7702 rule, where as long as it's built within the guidelines and it's not a modified endowment contract, then they're going to be able to access the money in the form of a loans and not have to pay taxes. Right? Then we protect people from unnecessary interest and debt through debt-free life, showing them how to utilize the snowball and the avalanche and infinite banking strategies to get out of debt and build wealth. Then we protect clients from outliving their retirement. That can be done through all 3 products: IULs, DFL, and annuities. So let's kind of break these down. Spivey, go ahead and go to the next slide. Let's talk about DFL for a second. So the target market for DFL is somebody who has debt, they're making overpayments or contributing to savings, right? They need to have some type of inefficient dollars to fund the plan. And then our software that we have is going to analyze the insurance carrier's illustration, break down all of their debts and amortization schedule, and identify if snowball or avalanche methods make sense using an infinite banking strategy of using a participating whole life insurance policy. So let's take a look at one of my personal clients that I have used for DFL, and go to the next slide, bud. So with DFL, this is one of my clients. Again, no additional money. All we did was do a financial analysis form, identify their inefficient dollars. We put it into the DFL plan. For those of you who haven't seen it, this is an example DFL report that clearly shows where they're currently at right now in time with their debt. So for this client, they would have been debt-free in 23 years and 10 months, but with no additional money, just redirecting it into this plan, it's now going to be paid off in 10 years and 5 months with no additional money. So paying off debt and building wealth. And in the report, it gives a specific day of the year that they're going to take out the loans, pay it off, redirect some of those monies, the minimum payments, to pay off those loans. But how amazing would it be that all of you got to have a conversation with clients that are in debt and saying, hey, no additional money. We can show you a way to get debt free and build wealth and have a specific roadmap and a plan to get out. So not only are we cutting 13 years off, and this particular client has paid off everything from the windows to the HELOC. All they have left is just their primary residence that will be paid off here in a few short years. And in the process, saving $44,000. So again, it's not just about paying off debt, it's about building wealth also. So if you go to the next slide, as long as they continue to execute this plan, when we talk about building wealth and being safe, especially in a participating whole life insurance policy, because it's not tied to the stock market, it's tied to dividends being paid out, with historically been paid out 99 out of the last 100 years. So it's very likely that it's going to perform this way in 20 years. Again, no additional money. They would have $288,000 worth of assets. Then in 30 years, $590,000 worth of assets. And in 40 years, almost $1 million. Where on their current plan, it was just going to take them 23 years to be debt free, not counting all of the assets they're going to have right here. So is there anybody here on this call that thinks that they could sell something like this, or not bird dog, but reset a DFL specialist in your hierarchy to at least get a free consultation to see how this is going to work for them and change their financial life for themselves and their kids and their grandkids for generations to come, right? So DFL is just one. So I want you guys to remember, every single client that we meet with, they either have debt, have no retirement, or have some retirement. So for the ones that have no retirement, there's a couple different directions that you can go, right? IUL is a great one, but I don't want people to just think of an IUL as somebody who's like 18 to 40 years old. Look at what these things can do for minors. Who here knows somebody who has a minor, or maybe you have a minor yourself? This is an example of somebody, let's say they're 6 years old, and the parents want to pay $250 a month to really set up their future. Could be for college, could be for pre-planning, could be for a house, could be for retirement. Take a look at what happens for a 6-year-old where a parent's paying $250 a month. You can see they're 6 years old, they pay $250. When they're 18 years old, they'll have age 18, roughly around $50,000 accessible to them to help out with college funding if they need to. But what if they get a scholarship? They don't need it for that. Go to the next slide. They continue to let this build from 6 until they're ready to retire. This is the power of tax-free retirement. From 6 years old to age 67, the reason why I do 67 is because that's full retirement age for Social Security. So for that point, if they paid it until 67, they've put in a total of $186,000. From the age of 6 until 67, they've only put in $186,000, and they would be able to turn in projected income for $353,000 a year, tax-free, from 68 to 92 for average life expectancy, paying out a total of $8.8 million for an investment of 186. Is there anybody that would take an investment of 186,000 and get 8.8 tax-free?
Casey, would you reset and do a policy on me to be a live example?
Exactly.
Right. So remember, we wanted to share with you guys, when we're talking about money, we have the opportunity we got 1,600 people on here. If you guys don't have these products, right? This is a way to change your future as well. But every single client that we meet with has an opportunity to get one of these advanced market solutions. All right. So again, has debt, DFL, has no retirement, IUL. Now, if they do have retirement, then we want to protect their assets and build wealth safely with annuities. This is an example of somebody who's 50 years old. You guys have been in the industry for some time. You've met 50-year-olds with $500,000 worth of assets, right? This is a 50-year-old, had $500,000. We put them into an annuity. You cannot lose money based off of the market. You got that annual reset. Your gains are locked in. You're not going to go down. But based off of this index strategy, which is based off of an inflation 2-year strategy, right now, over the last 8 years, it's averaging 20% a year in returns, and projected that from 50 to 60, their 500,000 could turn into 2.9 million. And then from 50 to 70, their 500,000 could potentially turn into 17 million. Now, I'm going to tell you right here, this is not likely to happen because inflation has been at all-time highs recently, but when the inflation goes down and interest rates go back down, the average that this portfolio was performing was roughly 8% a year when interest rates were down. So when inflation is high and interest rates are high, this index strategy performs really well. But when inflation is lower and interest rates are lower, it's been averaging still 8%, which is phenomenal when you don't have risk of losing from the market. So these are our advanced market opportunities, you guys. And this is what we're talking about with the power of the reset. It takes a while to learn these things. So all of the new agents, you guys should be working with your upline and with the advanced market teams to focus on resets. Once you're with us for a while and you feel comfortable and you want to learn something new, then you can work with your upline to get certified. But all of us should be helping ourselves. Everybody on this call should have a DFL or an IUL or annuity, depending on where you're at with your life. But more importantly, we really need to help out our families get out of debt, build wealth, and protect assets. And together we can do that, you guys. That's it.
Good
I'm
way
out.
to wrap up money. Wrapping up money. Well, man, I love it.
If I'm not a smart man, but I think we just watched somebody that go over some information they were built to deliver.
Mm-hmm.
You talk about a subject matter expert,
That's
man.
right. Nicely done, Rezi.
If I want to feel confused, I talk about the economy over lunch with Resma. I was getting text during that too, Resma, saying you've got a lot of guts to go over the current financial situation in this country with Mark Palmer sitting over there watching.
Right.
More than me and him riff quite often, man.
He
I love
obviously,
our talk.
obviously concurred. So he didn't chime in.
I don't know what you and Mark Palmer talk about. I just kind of listen to keywords and then I go Google them and then I invest in those companies.
That's right.
That's good.
Oh, B-Dubs, talk
Yes,
to
sir.
us, man.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. I won't take too much time on this, but we did want to just broadcast to the whole, if you will. If you're new around here, one of our principles is that language creates culture. And we actually have a common language, and we have that for leadership. We have that in our business. And we've been doing a lot of work on how do we get the right language that communicates to the right people in the right way. And so you're going to hear some new vocabulary. And if you want to go ahead and take a screenshot of this, tuck it away on your phone. And if you're an agency owner or a key leader or a manager or mentor to agents, we'd love for you to start using this language and downstreaming this as much as possible, because what it's going to do is going to help you pay attention to the right things and measure the right things. That's why it's important. And a lot of the resources and exciting tools and rollouts that we have coming downstream are going to be using this language. So we want you to be familiar with it. So instead of hearing just the general term recruit, what you're going to start hearing about are prospects, candidates, registered candidates, and the all too fun category of RTWs, ready to write. And let me just walk you through these briefly. And again, we're not expecting that you just memorize these instantly, unless you're Scott Forehand with a photographic memory, little Santa Claus over there. But we would expect that you'd actually start to just integrate this into your world as you are intentional about that. So a prospect, it's just somebody who has potential interest, and they've demonstrated that by responding to a recruiting ad, or maybe you're in a conversation with them, sharing the opportunity. So a prospect is somebody who has potential interest, as compared with a candidate who has confirmed interest, meaning they learned about the opportunity, they watched a corporate overview, they watched a video with the founders describing the opportunity, and now they've said, you know what, I am interested, I want to start the process of interviewing. At that point, they're in the process to become what we call a registered candidate, which is somebody who has been interviewed and committed to the opportunity by accepting the onboarding portal invitation and creating an account. Now, if you're brand new, again, we want to say welcome. Don't worry about this. Don't get overwhelmed by all these categories. Our people that have been around a little bit and our mentors and managers understand this. You will in time. But what we want you to see is the progression from potential interest to confirmed interest to committed to the opportunity. And then finally to from recruit to ready to write, this RTW category, which is an agent who's ready to write their first policy using just-in-time carriers And in our language behind the scenes, we talk about licensed, registered candidates who have full access to our HQ and ops systems, and they're ready to write that policy. So not to overwhelm you with lots of new language, but I just overwhelmed you with lots of new language. But get ready, because honestly, when we're trying to increase results, right? We have, we're expanding the capability of our team with people like Danielle, with Kate moving into her role of VP of Agency Development. We are getting more precise about the visibility on our metrics, and what we measure matters and how we talk about it matters. So wanted to just pop on with that highlight. So thankful for all the people involved with this, from the BI department to Spivey team and others. So that's it. How's that for a vocabulary download?
I love it.
So
And it was important that we go over this now, guys, because you're going to see some changes in the leaderboards coming up here in just a minute too. So we're going to be adopting this language, and again, we need to focus on that ready to write category. That is where we need our people. And huge shout out, thank you for that, B-dubs, for Danielle Duchesne, who is on this call and helping steer this ship. But she has been a very, very strong positive energy since coming on to the team. She's a director of agent engagement. She is 100% diving in to our entire onboarding / recruiting, interviewing, and getting people to write, getting people to S&A, getting to elite lead taker, getting to habitual writer. She is mapping out this process and has just got a real strong gift at understanding how to bring change to an organization and to provide new processes that are very, very well spelled out so that you can follow. So very excited for your future, Danielle.
Love it. Love it. Love it. I was just going to say, very important, especially as we have a data science team that can, if you look at that last slide as that's kind of the funnel, those are important steps in the funnel, and we can go in now through our, data science team and BI and figure out where the friction points are, figure out what the best practices are, which agencies do well at certain, points in the funnel, and take out the friction. It's why we're making massive investments in data as a company, is to remove friction as much as possible, whether we're talking about hiring and onboarding agents or the client experience. It's all important. So yeah, and again, the vocabulary, as B-Dub said, that's helps shapes the culture and helps keep words that might be to the outside world a little bit hard to or not even the right kind of feel to the outside world that we need to pay attention to, because we're public facing more than ever now. So and going to continue to be more and more public facing. So
yeah, and just imagine, change the language, change the conversation. Now we can find out where a person has, if you're building an agency here, like, okay, do you need to get more people with potential interest, or do you have enough people with potential interest and you have to actually work on the pipeline shift into confirmed or committed? So again, it's going to actually drive performance and results significantly, just this language change. So we're excited. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. B-Dub.
Very well done. Let's jump into some leaderboards, guys. Just kind of as an update too. We're going through some overhauls and we're reimagining everything. One of the things that's being having to take a look at right now is our national conference call schedule. And so today there will be no final speaker at the end. We're going to get some special time with Casey Watkins. We're going to talk about a couple of key important things with him and Mr. Mark Palmer. But for the months, or for the week when we have double leaderboards and promotions, guys, we're going to start not having a featured guest at the end. You'll see a lot more time with some coaching, some agent spotlights, and leaderboards, so that we make sure that we're being very respectful of everybody's time, especially in this world when we're all living by our calendars. And so you're going to start seeing some changes coming up. Let's jump into it. Casey, you on deck today? You want me to go through?
Let's go, man. I'll go. I'll try. I'll give it a shot now that the host with the most is in Argentina, or I guess now in Patagonia, right?
God, you see that picture he sent us, buddy?
Did.
Oh my
You
Lord.
guys, be with Brandon. Have your thoughts with Brandon. He's really struggling right now with Patagonia. All right, let's go. Top 10 riders for the week. Number 3, Stephanie Robinson, 45.19. Joseph Cleveland at number 2 at almost 10 grand. And Cynthia Landeros, 10.3. Nice job. New riders. All right, top 10 producers. Number 3, Joanne Castellano, 23 grand. Nice work. Nick Gordon, 27,000. This is weak. This is a week. John Griffin, 27,984. If you're brand spanking new on the phone, and you're going like, what does that mean in commission? Just cut it in half to be safe. It's probably better than that if these guys issue rates and everything are good, but just cut it in half. That's a heck of a week. So nice job, John, taking the number 1 spot. It used to be that you could come in about 10 grand and hit the number 1 spot when we first started the company after the first few years. So good to see the evolution here. All right. And app count goes to Nick Gordon at 16. Nice work. I'm going to fly through these this week since we got doubles. Shout out to Wade, Victoria, and Barbara too. Good app count.
Sorry, my
All right. Top
button
Medicare.
masher stuck.
That's all right. Get it ready. Dust it off. Scott Summers at the top of Medicare Supplement, 1,800 for the week. Top 5 disability income. David Neely at number 2. Barely edged out by Tracy Young for the top disability, 1,800. IULs. Emmanuel Manny goes to 21,000 this week. Omar Diaz, 32,000. And John Griffin with 5 apps for 33,600. Nice work.
Let's go, John. Man, look at that. Nice job, Omar, too.
Boom. All right, got some annuities in the mix too. Kenneth Kuhn, 238. Martin got a $600,000. Martin Morales and Alicia Hudson with a 3.1.
Let's go! Let's go, Alicia.
Somebody went big white elephant hunting and bagged one.
Let's go.
Nicely done.
Love that.
Now, for all of you out there going, man, you start seeing numbers like that and doing the commission math in your head and doing the impact math and all of that. Those don't come along every day. So you got to, as Danny Young says, like, don't get too distracted by the big white elephant hunting and just, there's squirrels and rabbits all around. Okay. All right. Stop Debt-Free Life goes to Cynthia Landeros with Cynthia Landeros for 15,790. Ruth Slingo at number 2 and Gabby and Ike at number 3. Nice work. New riders goes to Jamie Susie in the top base shop with 5. Bradley and Dan in the 2nd and 3rd spot. We got Carl Miller for top direct new riders at number 3. Ryan and Michelle at 9 for number 2, and Jamie Susie at top there too at 9. That's week to date, month to date. Clinton Bedsole, 14,000, and this is for the top resetters. So Resma's ears are perking up here. Kenneth Kuhn.
Come on now, Resma.
And this is passive income earners. This is
Look at this.
One is 67,693. Is that a typo?
I was getting some
That's it.
text messages and people were kind of asking, why are we talking about resets on a builder's call earlier? Was anybody interested in making $14,000, $15,000 extra $1,000 by just teaching your agents how to go answer a couple of questions on an easy button form? Let's go. This is silly.
Talk about it, guys.
Silly stuff.
You have to talk about it. This is what your team calls, your huddles are for. Find these opportunities and talk about it. And see what happens. Marty Valor, nice work. 5,300. Ashton, 12,000, and Tom Hall, 16 on the directs there. And then Andrea Noper at 651 to take the number 1 spot on. I'm assuming that's the agents.
Some passive income on PCS.
That's right. And then Tom Hall at the top there at 986. Kishan and Martin following up. Nice work.
Mailbox money.
Mm-hmm. All right. SNAs. We got a bunch of people there. I'm just going to hit number 1 since this is a week. It goes to James Larson with 3 SNAs. And then Jamie Susie at the top for the directs with 6. Nice work.
Do you think the Susie agency is working at all? I mean, I don't know. I've been seeing the updates from the Susie and Reinicke awards destinations trip. Those two ladies have figured out connection, buddy. They look like
Well,
they're
they
having a
have
great
it.
time.
Think about where they were last week. And here we're looking at last week's leaderboards. And that's the definition to me of business ownership is, can I go on vacation and my business at least maintain? Can I potentially get sick or can't work for a month or two or need to step away for a couple months? Does my business, and when I come back home, is my business still running? If that's not the case, you don't have a business. You know, you may have a good cash machine, you may be a good self-employed, agent, but in the end, when my feet stop and my money stops, I never really like that. I want my money to keep flowing when my feet stop. And that's what you see these guys, clearly are getting there. So nice work, Jamie. Look at the S and A's. Good Lord.
Come on.
I'm gonna let you read these.
Come on, B-dubs.
Me?
Yes.
All right.
You are all about leading from the front. Go ahead.
All right. Thank you, sir. Congrats to last names only: Seaver, Wentzloff, Rivers, Mueller, Ward, Harding, Epperson, Holland, Coulomb, Pedraza, Villalobos, Berviller, Hester, Cleveland, Olson, Dawson, Johnson. I'm really grateful for those rhythmic three right there of the SONs. Fuller, Brandel, Brown, Coleman, Sigler, Mann, Robinson, Araby, McMillan, Lee, and Wilson. Congratulations.
Well done. Good job. Good job, B-Dub, and good job, SNAs.
Well done.
All right, key leaders, bringing up the top. And this is for the week, I think. Look at Ryan Newman's picture over there. That's awesome. Goes to Julio Reyes at 29,000 and barely beat out Jennifer Gray. Good work. And barely beat out Heather Moreau. Good, nice work. Top RTWs, ready to writes. Nice. Already changing the vocabulary on the leaderboards. Edward Puckett with 2. Nice work. And the top new writers this week, Christina Watts at 3. Nicely done.
That looks really good, RTWs. I just got to celebrate that. RTWs, ready to
It
write.
does look
Quick
ready
change.
to write. Ready
That's
to
so
write.
cool.
Love it. And then for APV on agency owner leaderboards, Jerry Choate, take it for the week, 44,000. Ashley Richard at 3. Nice work. Well, tied with Larry Grossman for 3. And then new writers, Kelly Bush and Theo Pritchett tied for the top at 3. Nice work. Agency directors, David Alvarado at the top at 137,000. Got Ben Cifapor at 13. New RTWs, very well done. And new writers goes to Sarah Reinecke for the week at 11. Nicely done, guys. If you guys aren't tuning into these calls where you can see the leaderboards, you should encourage the team to do that too, because you're going to love seeing this stuff. And we don't get to say all of these names, but if you can see them, that's good. Trey Alderson Cloutier, good work, 121,000. This is for all the rads. RTWs goes to Marty Valor at 11. And new writers, Jamie Susie takes the cake, 9. Good work. MVPs, John Ziller at the top this week with 154,000 for the week. Chris Cook with 19 RTWs. And new writers goes to Chris Cook with 5.
Well done. So well done.
A lot
I
of
know
fun.
I got some feedback from
Yes.
from Miranda and Ziller's podcast that supposedly is done a really good job out of the gate. And so shout out to our buddies that are doing a great job on their podcast. And I remind everybody out there, if you have tuned into their podcast, which is Don't Suck at Sales, make sure the best way you can show them some love is give them a 5-star rating so that they can get more attention to what they're trying to build and generate. So
SVP made offer 140,000, barely beat out the Spill Dinner Financial Group at 140. Tony Capistrano, the Godfather himself, at 11 RTWs for the week, and new writers goes to Mike and Sarah Pappas at 6. Nice work. EVPs, Scott Mank on 178,000 for the week. Nice week. RTWs goes to Scott Mank. Is it a turkey leg? Nope. Well, yeah, it is.
Miranda.
Writers, Miranda Martin and Scott Mank and Sean Shannon tied it 4. Good work.
way to go, Miranda. She was not going quiet in the night.
No, she was not. Associate partners, Ryan and Michelle Miller with a $545,000 monster week. Good job, Ashley and Tyler, 351 there too. Ryan and Michelle Miller, 22, and Ryan and Michelle Miller at 21. There's
You want to know why? Go back and rewatch the Builders Call from a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And you'll understand why. B-Dubs, you had a post on this week about leading from the front and loving your teams. Let's go be different in this world. Change leadership, showing up from the front. And
Good.
I've had the privilege of have several meaningful conversations with Mr. Ryan Miller since he did that Builders Call, and it has inspired me to relook at how I'm doing things within my own team in this department, and you can just see it. You feel the love, you feel the energy, and you feel the momentum.
Momentum, the Big Mo. Got a lot of teams with the Big Mo right now. Couple of guys right here with the Big Mo, Danny Young and the Smith Agency. Danny at number 1 for the week, $463,000 for the week. That's so crazy. Danny, RTWs at 31 and new riders at 15, and Smith Agency right on your tail there, Danny. Look out. That's a good one. Managing partners, Marshall Whalen takes it again for the week, 1.2 million. Marshall Whalen with 67 RTWs, and Turkey for sure. Marshall Whalen at 49 new riders. Nicely done. Edward right on your heels, and Jacob right behind him. Scott Mank, directs. Scott Mank at 178,000 RTWs goes to Scott Mank. Nope, Jacob Bode, 28. And new riders goes to Jamie Susie at 9. Nice work, guys.
Tied with Ryan and Michelle. Look at that.
Right.
Look out there, no nines.
All right, top base shop. So this is like your farm team, so your goal when you're building an agency with the company is you should have a farm team like the minor leagues. And then you want to send people up to the major leagues and promote agency owners. That's what the whole company's about when it comes to our growth strategy, and growing people is growing new agency owners. But they all start in the base shop, and it all starts with your base shop if you're building a team. So Ziller, massive profitability in the base shop. Granted, there's some more work. There's some more systems, processes. You got to talk to agents more. There's more work involved, but massive profitability building a base shop. John Ziller, $63,000. Mark Newbauer on the RTWs for base shop at 7. Nicely done, Mark. And new riders, Jamie Susie. Nice work.
Promotion time.
Yes. All right, what do we have here? Top producer promotions, Brandon Carter, Leroy Defoe, Matthew Avila, and Trevor Williams. Nicely done.
Nicely done.
Minimum of
$20,000
net place premium 2 months in a row. So if you're out there and you have not gotten your top producer badge, it's a good one to have on your chest. Minimum of 20,000.
HQ swag.
That's right. Nicely done. And then we should have elite producers now. This is a minimum of 30,000 net plays 2 months in a row. Nice work, Eric Gurr.
Way to go, Eric. That's nicely done, buddy.
We got team leaders, minimum of 10,000 net plays for 2 months in a row. So these are guys and gals starting to build a team. Amanda King, Cody Kamesi, Frank McShane, Isaiah Brewer, Jamie Martinez, James Hickman, J.R. Derflinger, that's a good name, Natasha Leash, Sarah Adelzada, and Sean Kelly. Sorry, I might have butchered half of those, but nice work, team leaders. Welcome to the club. And key leaders, a whole batch of key leaders. Very well done. Ann Davis, Brenda Guerrero, Dulcie Mastrang. Why do I have the hardest names here? Dulcie Mastrangello, Gabrielle Kohler, Joe Carballo, Melanie Balog, Michael Patty, Patrick Duff, and Trevor Williams. There you go. There's an easy one. Trevor Williams. Nice work, team leaders.
Trevor, we need you to get more promotions, so we just have to, so we can read your name.
I know. I am so sorry to all of you that I have butchered names today.
Just a quick shout out on behalf of agency development and our team. Make sure all of you are caught up on your summit progress, in part because you'll unlock a really fun video of me with a wig on, but mostly because, get ready for Key Leader Academy, and we want you to be caught up on your summit progress by the time you get there. So look forward to welcoming you all to the Key Leader Academy, and that'll happen this quarter for y'all.
Love it. All right, top
Look at
agency,
here.
new agency owners, Edward Puckett, nicely done. Joshua Quillen, Jennifer Gaines, and Tristan Strickland. Nice work. Welcome to the AO
Congratulations.
Club.
Big deal, man. That's a big deal. Congratulations to you.
All right, and new RADs, minimum of 2 agency owners direct to you. Rob Puckett, congratulations. Devin Johnson, nice work. And Dave
Nice.
Alvarado, hitting the RADs. Love it.
Look at that leaderboard. That's some players right there.
Nice work.
Man, job, guys.
RAD's a big deal. RAD is a big deal.
Brad.
What else you
I'm
got?
not really, I'm not trying to really give them extra shine time. It's just frozen. My computer's
All right,
overheating over here.
We got bonuses. Top March.
Yeah!
Bonuses, top 20.
Look at that.
Look at those numbers. Let's just hit the top 5. Brian Delaney, $64,000 bonus. Lynn Watkins, 77. Jacob Pogue, 92,000. Edward Pritchett, $130,000 bonus for the month. Marshall Whalen, $179,000 bonus for the month. When we first started the company, I remember being in California, Brandon and I, probably our second, third time ever visiting California with Pope, when we were laying out our then promotion guidelines, which was 20%, 30% lower of a starting contract than a finishing contract. But I remember our kind of game plan, our philosophy, we said, if this is what happens, this is what we want, which is anyone in this company that can run the size of the company. So once you do what the company is doing, so let's say back when the company was doing $1 million a month of production, we were telling our leadership and everyone wanting to build an agency within the company and in the industry that once you run what the company runs, you should earn at a minimum what the founders earn. Because to that point, we had never seen anything in the industry that would have that kind of balance, that kind of sharing the wealth of opportunity with the actual leaders. Because what happens in most companies, as you guys are familiar, is the guys at the ownership founder level are making all the money. And once someone starts kind of hitting that glass ceiling, they're like, why wouldn't I just go do this on my own? Our philosophy was make them partners, pay them, share the wealth. And what we have now is a system where when you are running what the company's running, you're probably earning about twice what any of the founders are earning. That's a pretty cool system considering you don't have nearly the amount of exposure, risk, time, involved because it's set up like a franchise. So really cool to see these bonuses and how they're looking right now.
That's a great explanation too, Casey. And I'll just say, because I know you're too humble too, but just for you to have the opportunity to come be a part of a business where you can make twice as much more as what the founders take, but then to personally be on mine and B-Dub's side and Resma and to get to see the amount of investment that you guys personally do back into this business to further create more solutions, more opportunity, more technology to make this job so much even more awesome than it already is. And so,
Buddy.
I'm not looking for a raise or anything, but I see it every day, and I've had some discussions here lately where I think it's just a good reminder for everybody that we always talk about leading from the front and being an example and stay in the field, and your team needs to see you doing the things that you're asking them to do. And when Casey and Brandon and Pope sit there and take less profit than they could in any other organization, but then they also take what profits they have and literally pour it back into something that's going to make everybody out there on this call make more money and use less of your time to do it. I just hope everybody remembers the gratitude and understands the real scope of what's going on behind the scenes, and it's special.
I appreciate that, but that's, you don't get who you want in business, you get who you are. And the similarity of the thing that every one of these guys has in common, and the reason why they're, didn't mean to say guys, guys and gals, all of you guys that are getting bonuses out there, you're getting bonuses, especially in these two categories, because you're continuing to reinvest very heavily back into the business instead of eating your seed and, and kind of getting out over your skis outside of what we know can give us the best return on our investment. So just a bunch of people reinvesting very heavily back into their business. So well done. And then we got producer bonus. And top three, Dixie Trevino at 3,000, Ashley Richard at 4,000, and Joan Castellano at 4,600. 56,000 paid out for the month on the producer side, 73,000 on the capital side, and 932, almost $1 million paid out in just bonuses on the equity side. So $1,062,000 for the month. Year to date, we're at 2.7 million on equity. 213,000 paid out year to date on capital, producer 147 for a total year to date bonus payout of $3 million. In addition to all of the money, all of the insurance companies pay out, which is a large majority of what you guys get. So, wow.
It just always reminds me of Danny Young and makes me shake my head. But where can you go?
Where can you go?
Where can you go and get a bonus for doing what you're supposed to do and just helping out a family that asked you to help them?
Yeah.
Where can you go?
Pretty wild.
This is awesome.
Nicely done.
Tyler, you out there, buddy?
Who's it going to be today?
It's going swimmingly, buddy. Give us an update. Where you at, man?
Everybody's excited to see what kind of background you got going.
I know. I was waiting for Biggie. I was going to do the Biggie.
Show us where you are, man.
We can't hear you, buddy.
Can't hear
We
you.
got some audio challenges from Mr. Tyler.
Nope.
No sound.
I'll just like interpret for you. Social Q is really cool. It starts May 4th.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
There you go.
Go for it, buddy.
There we go. Hey, we're out here in Mendoza, Argentina. And shout out to American Amicable. We just had an incredible trip in Buenos Aires. But we got Social Q agent activation going on, class 002. The cutoff is this Friday at midnight. And we need you to go to socialqactivate.com to sign up. But here's the thing, guys. What business are we in? We're in the life insurance business. And on social media, the majority of what you see from agents is insurance, a little bit of life, insurance, and a little bit of life. Well, we're teaching our strategies so that you can show your life. And then, oh yeah, by the way, do you need insurance? Life. Oh yeah, by the way, are you looking for a career? These strategies that we've been teaching over the last 8 weeks have been generating massive results. We've got the next agent activation that's starting next week on Thursday, but the cutoff to enroll is going to be this Friday, and we would love nothing more than for you to join us. Social media is not going anywhere. So come join us, get fed, and get strategies to generate real results for your business. And how about everybody that's in Social Q already? Let's throw some comments in the Q&A and tell us what it's done for you so far. Guys, we're fired up. This next agent activation is going to be even better than the first. And that's it, guys. We're going to go back here and enjoy this winery in Mendoza.
Oh,
And
man.
Geez.
Rubbing it in, dude. Rubbing it in. I love it.
I mean, I feel like
Well done.
circling back to it was one step too far, Tyler.
I mean, it snowed here in Michigan yesterday. That ain't
Oh,
fair.
no. Oh, that just, yeah. That's
Hey,
impressive. Beat up.
Give our buddy Rick Weaver a hug for us.
Yep. Tell everybody, hey, buddy.
Yeah,
Thanks,
we did.
Tyler.
Thank you.
What else we got here?
B-dubs.
Oh, B-dubs again. Thank you. I'll be quick. As you know, we're offering these, we're calling them DODs, Development on Demand. Go ahead and screenshot this, or if you know you want to register for Discovering Your Leadership Voice, 5 Voices workshop. And again, we're just going to cycle these through. These are no cost to you at all. This is just run by our team. This one I'll be doing again here on the 5 Voices. So if you're new, if you don't know your 5 Voices, if you want to refresh, but only if you really need it, like this isn't, we want to sort of limit it to people that this is a big need for. If you're fluent in 5 Voices, like Tim Penso speaks Myers-Briggs in 5 Voices inside and out, please don't show up. If it's new and you need to learn it, you will need to, I'll say it this way, it's incredibly helpful to have this tool in your toolkit in building an agency and being a leader worth following. So excited to be with you on May 15th on 5 Voices.
Nice.
You bet.
Who needs leads? About to talk about some leads here in a minute with Bud Bigley Palmer and Casey Watkins. But for those call-in leads, guys, just as a reminder, you can't ask for just call-in leads, but these states do have opportunities for us to generate more resources. California, Georgia, Virginia, Michigan, Missouri, Indiana, Massachusetts. I can't ever say that. Texas, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Colorado, no judgment. Palmer, I see you smirking down there. Ooh.
Lighthouse going well.
We did some training this morning, Casey, and Maitland did a phenomenal job. People are fired up. As soon as she ended that call, she started tapping on my glass, letting me know that her the orders have been blowing up already.
Yes. Lighthouse leads continue to deliver high intent leads, pre-verified to ensure the highest quality. While still in beta, Lighthouse is ramping, and we are taking on new orders. All agents, this is big, all agents are now eligible to participate in, but it's still in beta phase, but we are opening it up to everyone now because the early signs, the early traction is just that good, and we need to go on this. So let's go on it. 20% promotional discount also right now through May 31st. So jump in line.
Very good.
Very excited about these, getting a ton of really positive feedback on Lighthouse leads. So can't wait to see where this stuff goes.
It's out there. It's live.
Right.
And as a reminder, guys, it's beta. What does that mean? We're going to find little things along the way that we can improve. So make sure you're getting feedback to the proper uplines. Uplines will get the feedback to the uplines. They'll get that into HQ. Make sure you get support tickets in. Guys, API, always know that when you innovate and when you create anything new, you're going to find some things that need adjusted. Same with every program that we have. But right now, we feel really good, and this thing's been pretty pressure tested. And if you missed the training this morning, get with your upline. The AOs were on a training call. Maitland's getting that information out to all of the AOs that attended that call that will give you the very good specifics of the slide decks that she went through, the sales scripting that goes with these leads, how billing is done, how you can expect the leads to flow. Everything, guys, that we've learned over the course of the last 3 to 4 years that Palmer and his teams and the ventures have been dialing in. You're starting to see high quality products get rolled out in these beta phases. But as a constant reminder, innovation requires us all to be ready to adapt. And it also requires us to provide good feedback so we can continue to get better.
Right. Love it. All right. Little update on value-based leads. Let's see. As you guys know, value-based are designed to give us a multiple of at least 3 to 4 times. Dynamic updates to the value-based lead system to ensure integrity of the program and your multiple on investment. And when we say dynamic updates, that means what we want to move towards, and Palmer, feel free to please jump in on this. We want to move towards a little bit more real time, on lead pricing, whether that needs to go up a little bit based on the value it's delivering or whether it needs to go down. But having that stuff just kind of naturally hit. You want to talk about that a little bit? And then also the updates for this week, we are having a slight adjustment of about 2% or less on direct mail and call-in leads. Big discounts on a lot of bonus lead categories. Palmer, what's the average on some of those bonus leads? I mean, 14 to 16%.
Yeah, some of them. I mean, it ranges from around 4% discount to around 13% discount. Some.
Gotcha, okay.
You got a slide next, Casey, that kind of shows a quick grid.
Okay.
But passing a lot more value to the agent. That's the point. Just to make it clear that you need a balanced diet of leads, right? We've talked about this before,
Yep.
right? You need a balanced diet. You need to be working in the analog market, whether it's mail in or call in. You need to be working in the digital market, and we're launching these lighthouse leads, and it's some of the best quality that we've been able to create. So you need to get into that.
Let's hit the next slide and stay
Yeah,
on
and
this
you need to be in
subject
the
for a
B
second.
league. Yeah, and you need to be in the B league market. And this is an incentive to agents to get into the B league market. I want to be clear on this. This doesn't mean that we're seeing the B leads are worth less, so we're discounting it. That is not the case, right? We have a single source of truth given our data group now. We know how these things perform, right? There is significant value in the B leads. So we're not only passing additional value down the line, like you should earn a higher multiple of investment than before, but we're also passing down a price decrease just to make the point for people. We're passing down a lot of value, Casey. Like even on the mail and A leads, we've seen the performance there really go up, right? We're passing additional value to the agent. You should actually be able to spend the same amount of money on those leads, and you should actually earn back more commissions than you were anticipating.
Yep.
So these lead price changes are meant to sort of indicate to people like you need to be playing, you need to have your meat, you need to have your potatoes, and you need to have your vegetables. You need a balanced diet of leads. And you need to also know that we work very hard to identify the value and provide transparency, which we want to do more frequently, so that you can see that this is an investment in your future. It's just reinvesting commissions to make more commissions. So you have more commissions to reinvest to make more commissions.
Well said. Well said. All right. You can see HQ there for that. Let's see, what is this? Is this the Razor Ridge? Yep. So as you see, the main levels that change pricing are at those lower levels. That was where the data was showing us that new agents were having a little bit of struggle on being profitable at those lower levels. So look, if you're an agent and you're at those lower levels and you are doing well on them, then feel free to stay in the pocket. But with this lead increase, you'll want to be careful with that if you're at the 80, 85, or 90 to make sure that you are doing well on those. If not, divert more to bonus leads, analog, lighthouse, that kind of thing, and go from there. Not much of a price increase, I think, on the above the 95 there.
No, it's actually a slight discount above the 95 here.
Gotcha. Okay. Good stuff. Loving the value-based lead pricing. Loving it, man. I know it's an important part of our strategy moving forward. Agency Owners Academy, June 6th and June 6th through 8th. Lock it in.
Yes, sir. Let me just mention on this one, more details coming like very, very, very soon, especially for those of you that have been promoted to agency owner in the last 12 months and have not attended an Agency Owner Academy. You're going to get a targeted email from events@quility.com. So be on the lookout for that, but we definitely want you to go ahead and reserve those dates, 6th to the 8th, and you can start kind of just blocking your calendar and thinking about that. If you have any questions, we'll provide a way for you to do that in that email. But yeah, looking forward to this one. It's going to be, it's always an amazing time. So excited to be with you.
Big time. Upcoming events, as always, guys, be sure you're checking out these calls, especially I know there's a lot of interest right now, a lot of questions flying around about resets. So do notice there that you got 2 opportunities to pick from to make sure that you're getting your team involved and taking advantage of that program. Also, be sure and check in with our friends from Columbus Life. And yeah, got some great content out there. Last thing I want to talk to you about, Casey, before I let you go, if you don't mind.
Yes.
We're getting kind of fired up around here about conference.
Yes, we are. Buddy.
I've had 3 meetings in the last week just focus solely on content.
Yep.
Guys, we're having 4-hour meetings on the feel that we want individuals to have when they are present with us in Denver. This conference, more so than ever, guys, it's built on the idea that we're on this journey together, that there's strength in numbers. And when we all engage as a team in unison, we can absolutely move mountains and transform this industry.
Yep.
This conference is going to be laser focused on engagement at a level that you guys have not experienced with the home office yet. I'm fired up for it. Casey, what about you?
Just want to like close down, give us 5 minutes. You know, and I talked to a team about this yesterday too, you know, why go to conference, and I'll just kind of spend a couple minutes promoting it shamelessly, because I just know how important it is. And you know, I'm a high school dropout. This was my college, you know, big events. I've in 20 years, every single year for the last 20 years, I have attended a big event, you know, squarely in my industry, squarely in what I do in this industry. So it has been my college. It's been a driver of commitment. And so, you know, there should be zero reason why anyone, there's 1,400 attendees, but we don't count, you know, doubles and couples and staff and all that. So who knows? There's a couple thousand people on this call. Every one of you guys on this call should be registered for conference. But you know, I'm not necessarily talking to those out there that don't want to go. If you don't want to go, don't go. I love the saying, a man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. So if you are convinced against your will to go to conference, you're probably not going to get much out of it. So, you know, if that describes you, then maybe just stay home. But for everyone else out there that's not registered, it's probably just that you have what you think is a pretty good excuse in your brain. A lot of the times the excuse, because I've been there, was it cost me money. You know, I'm going to spend $1,500, a couple $1,000 between hotels and flights, maybe more, to get out there. So I had to kind of get over that. So, you know, the excuse might be, or the reason might be, I can't afford it. As we say, learn to turn your excuses into reasons. That is exactly the reason you should go. So it's just like changing that mental thought. You know, if you want something different, you have to do something different. You have to think differently. And so if your thought is, I can't go because I can't afford it, well, just learn to rewire your brain a little bit and think about it differently and say, I have to go because I can't afford it. Learn to turn those excuses into reasons, you know? So I think another thing you hear sometimes from brand new agents is, well, I'm so brand new. I'm just going to see if this works. I'm just going to try this out. And I will just tell you, it's like, that's another point where you can kind of say that maybe that fixed thinking, that way of thinking might have not served you well. You know, if you're not getting what you want, again, it may be because you need to change that thought a little bit. I don't know of anyone that's ever really had great success in this business by kind of limping in. You know, we think, well, I'm going to get some success and then commitment will follow. That's how most people approach things like this. Success first, then I'll commit. No, that's completely backwards. It's I commit, then success follows. So you're kind of getting it backwards. And I always use the illustration of like, you know, running a 5K or training for a marathon. Like the training doesn't start until I register for that race, right? Because until then, it's just an idea, maybe, maybe not. So that's just not a really great way to approach a business. I think you have to plant your flag. You have to commit to something, and the results will follow. So, and for those of you out there, especially if you're brand new, going, you know, this costs money. I get this is, you know, are you trying to just make a bunch of money on a conference event? That's not what our company does. There are companies out there that just specialize in events and trainings and conferences, and that's their business model. Last year, we lost $750,000 on our Denver conference. I really would like to lose $1 million this year if possible. Because the more we seem to lose on conferences, the more we pick up in production. And that applies to you guys too. This is all about ROI. When you make an investment to be somewhere, you come out of that with tools, energy, the equipment you need to turn that $2,000 into 20,000, 50,000, 100,000, $1 million, from a lifetime ROI standpoint, you just can't put a price tag on what an event like this can do. Outside of all of that, if that's not enough, Mark, let's just talk about timing for a second.
Yeah, sure thing, Kate. And then speaking of timing,
right?
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, speaking of time, I realize we're out of time, so I'll be brief. All right, I'm just going to cut to the chase. All right, number one, if you were at last year's conference in Denver and you thought it was good and it was really good, not to put a fire under the feet of the people here, but I view that as a dry run for what this year is going to be. All right, so we're in the market. I see what's going on with Symmetry and distribution, Quility as a platform, the market as a whole, right? And we always talk about, you kind of alluded to this, the future of the insurance industry, the future, right? The one thing about the future is it's in the future, right? But I can tell you right now, right, as I told Casey earlier, right, that beating sound you hear in your head when you go to sleep at night, that's the sound of the future, beating on the windows and doors, demanding to be let in. Right? The time is now, right? That's what's happening in the market, and that's what's happening with us in our evolution and transformation. And so you're going to see a lot of things even before conference, simplified platforms, cool upgrades, entirely new platforms, new lead types, things like that, right? And I'll tell you this, now is the time. Like, what happens over the next 60 to 90 days with the future demanding to be let in is going to define the way that we and you engage with that future. That I can assure you. So if you want to invest in leads or you want to invest in recruiting, if you're seeing new platform components and things coming out, now is the time to invest your time, effort, heart, and soul in doing it. The next 60 to 90 days in our industry are going to define the way that this industry evolves and what we're going to be talking about and doing after this conference. That I can assure you.
That's the rally cry right now, guys. 60 to 90 days, big push, all hands on deck, agency owners, get out in the field, lead from the front, do what you do. Now it's go time. And we're going to be having some talks with you agency owners. We're having talks with you ears holders out there, all you on the corporate staff as well. So just gear up. 60 to 90 days. Let's really put our heads down right now and push. We got a lot of eyes on us. We got a lot at stake. As you guys know, we're going for capital as a company. We've been self-capitalizing, just using founder money to reinvest back in. I don't know how much we've reinvested, Mark, over the last 3 years, would you say, since we started this endeavor?
Reinvested probably about $30 million. I mean, it's around there.
So, and we say we haven't even capitalized yet. That's a lot of capital. But I don't think you guys have seen anything yet. I think a switchboard, I think a navigator, I think of the product development. I think of how much more we would be investing in development right now. Palmer, what happens to a switchboard? What happens to the applications and the software and the platform and the leads and all of that when we capitalize?
It's like what happens in Fast and Furious when they hit the nitrous boost. So, it advances everything we're doing so we can move, through the glitches faster, right? We can get a smoother, better acting thing for everybody, right? Because these things take time and effort. And B, it allows us to unify these platforms in a much more pleasurable experience and really position it to actually platform the industry, right? Which is the point. And I can assure you, either we will platform the industry or the industry will platform us. So pick where you want to be. As I said, the future's coming. It's not in the future anymore. It's happening this year. So let's just gear up for it and meet it head on.
Right. And couldn't come at a better time. A lot of turmoil, as we've alluded to over the last few months, especially with competitors. Why does that matter? Why do we have, well, you should think about your competitors. You shouldn't get overly bogged down with it, but there are hundreds of thousands of agents that do what we do, that don't have the kind of leads we have, that don't kind of have the software we have, They don't have switchboard. They don't have the kind of products we have. They don't have the platform that Mark is speaking of. They don't have the opportunity ahead of them to innovate. So when we say land grab, we mean land grab. Now's the time. Go get it. Go get those agents. They're out there. They need us. They're looking for something. We have a choose your path model, you know? So if you're talking to somebody that's just on a high contract and wants to stay on a high contract and not have to worry about anything, just put them on the B2B channel. You know, if it's somebody that's struggling and they're not getting what they want out of this career, you know, i.e. being time and money, like if you can get them to kind of understand that, yeah, I'm not happy with the balance of time and money, Symmetry is their spot, right? So that's the B2A channel. So we have a spot for pretty much everyone in our space. So go get them, guys. On that conference, thank you, Mark, for jumping on today.
Absolutely. Thanks.
Spivey, on the conference note, I did just want to mention one last little note. Stay at the hotels if you can, please. That helps us a lot as a company because we stick our necks out there and we negotiate these big group rates with, you know, 2 or 3 hotels. And if we don't hit those group rates, that ends up costing us a bunch more money. And I know I said I wanted to lose $1 million this year on conference, but I didn't want to lose it in the way of not hitting hotel contracts. I wanted to lose it because we have to go into overflow. Second thing, get with your leader after this call. Do not procrastinate. Hit the done button. Your leader should have an owner's pack with tickets available at a discounted rate. And then third, owner's packs, if for those of you all there building, owner's packs will be going up in the next 2 to 3 weeks. I don't know the exact date on it. So if you have not got an owner's pack, now is a good time to get it.
It is, guys. I always think about Kyle Kimbrell and some of his talks that he gives on how you leverage the systems and how you leverage what this business in Symmetry does for you guys. And just think about what Casey just said. Ian, Brandon, and Pope are going to spend $1 million to put on an enormous event in Denver. Why in the world would you not want to get as many people as possible to come out and experience and feel what this company is about? And I promise you, the content and what you're going to see at this conference is going to have everyone walk out of Denver a completely changed individual. And they are going to see the heart of what this company was founded on. And I can't be more excited to see how it all unfolds. So why in the world would you not get as many people as possible and leverage this conference and this event for everyone around you to catch the same fire that you all have? And let's go change some lives.
Love it, buddy. Thank you, guys. Let's go out and break a record this week. Appreciate it. Have a good one.
See you guys.
Thanks, guys.